award-winning book. What is it about? Who was Frank Collymore?
Yeah, thanks, Christine. Frank Collymore was a great, he's a Barbadian, which is why a lot of people here have never even heard his name. But his first claim on our attention is that he was what we might call the godfather of West Indian literature at the time when it began to flower and to become something in its own right, a literature in its own right. And one night in April 1940, he made a long entry in this diary about his views about discipline in the school. I'm just going to read a little bit from the book which has to do with that. His proposals as to, having explained the misguidedness in these notes, having explained the misguidedness and folly of flogging, of punishment by the writing of lines, you know how we all had to write lines, and of much of the detention system as practiced, he was at pains to explain his alternative method to promote the desire for self-improvement among errant boys. His method was one of interviews with the offender, in which sympathy and mutual respect are absolutely necessary. It involved a process of graduated interviews depending on the difficulty of the case and repetition of delinquency. And then I skip a little. Anyway, it is not surprising, therefore, that the one published instance when Colley lost his temper in the classroom became famous. And even more instructive than his losing of his temper was his reaction to the fact that he lost his temper one day in the room with a boy. Harold Critchlow witnessed the incident. Harold Critchlow was a boy in the class. Harold, when this book was launched in Barbados on the 9th of December 2009, to my wonderful surprise and pleasure, the person who said the prayers at the beginning of the ceremony was the very Reverend Harold Critchlow, who had recently retired as the Dean of St. Michael's Cathedral in Barbados. This is the fellow who was in the 4th form when this incident happened, when Colley slapped the boy. And he is forever grateful for what Collymore did to him. Here is what I'm quoting from what Harold Critchlow, the Reverend Harold Critchlow said. I have seen him angry once, and that was when he slapped a chap called Lionel Whitaker in the 2A, I think it was, or the 3B. He gave him a very hard slap. He left the master's desk and went right down to the back row. We got the W's, and Whitaker, the people were in the class according to alphabetical arrangement. So Whitaker was at the back. So he went right down to the back and slapped the boy. And gave him such a slap. But that was not the end of it. The next day, Colley came into the form and apologized to Whitaker and to the class for his anger. Lionel was overbearing that day, and it wasn't Colley's fault so much, but we had never seen him angry, and it was good to see him so. And more than that, it was good to see a master apologizing to a pupil in front of the class, and that will never leave.